For more on the story, we can bring in Nicholas Startin. He's a professor in politics and international relations at John Cabot University in Rome. He joins us by phone. Nicholas, thanks so much for being with us. You have studied the rise of the far right across Europe. We've seen a seemingly nonstop rise in the popularity of the far right here in France. The only thing that's really kept them out of power has been this so-called Republican front that has often meant left-wing voters holding their noses to vote for centrists. What kind of trajectory do you think this current political impasse in France puts us on?
Yeah, this is quite a difficult situation. I spoke to you on Friday. I spoke to your colleagues on Friday on France 24, and I was predicting that a prime minister would probably be announced on Tuesday. As it stands, it looks like a prime minister is not emerging from the shipwreck, if you like, of the legislative elections, where we have essentially the radical far right bloc, the centre bloc, and the new popular front left bloc. I think we're moving into the territories of a political crisis for President Macron. There are a whole bunch of candidates that he would like to endorse as prime minister. Xavier Bertrand, the leader of the Hauts-de-France region in the north, former Minister of Chirac, Michel Barnier, he would have liked to have perhaps nominated, former Socialist Prime Minister Cazeneuve, but none of these would command a majority. And he's had meetings with the new Popular Front, and he's had meetings with the Rassemblement National leaders, Le Pen and Bardella. And we're in a situation, quite frankly, where the president is boxed in. He cannot get a majority from the centre. On one level, yes, we can talk about the rise of the radical right and the Rassemblement National, but they didn't do as well as anticipated in the second round of the parliamentary elections almost 2 months ago. And that's one of the reasons we are where we are. He's also rejected the president, Lucie Castet, who was the nomination of the new Popular Front. So we're a little bit at loggerheads now to work out what the next phase, the next situation is. I guess there will be further discussion with leading operators in the political centre. But it looks like neither the radical right or the new Popular Front on the left are wanting to continue their discussions with the president. And in fact, we may see some kind of protest on the streets, which we know France is very famous for, both historically and in contemporary politics. So we're really at an impasse. Are we at the level of a crisis? I guess the next 24 hours, 48 hours will tell us that.
Well, Macron is calling on the left NFP to sort of play ball with his centrist bloc to stop blocking, say the progress of the country. But really, like, the centrists of Macron's bloc were the ones who came in behind the left bloc. Is it not more on their shoulders to play ball with the party that came in first, which would be the left-wing bloc?
Argue that, the centrist bloc, which is an alliance of numerous parties, including the president's party, came second behind the new Popular Front leftist bloc. Yes, they did beat the Rassemblement National radical right bloc. But as you say, if we're going to look at democracy playing out, perhaps, the president is obliged to think about a prime minister from that leftist bloc. I suspect he's worried that the Rassemblement National, the radical right, would not be in favor of that, and there might be a kind of vote of no confidence. So at the moment, we really are in a situation where I don't see an immediate solution. Could there perhaps be further elections? I doubt that. That would be a very radical ending to this story. Let's see what develops over the next 24 hours. Let's see what the president comes up with to a solution that is becoming increasingly difficult and increasingly complicated for him to resolve.
indeed probably unlikely to call new elections. You would think he might have learned his lessons from the last one. Nicholas Startin from John Cabot University in Rome. Thank you so much for that analysis, for being with us here on France 24.